Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news. 3 people are dead after a crash in southern Wake County. The new information we've learned from investigators within the last 5 minutes.
The sunshine is back today, but so are the chilly temperatures. I'll walk you through how many hours you might need to have your jacket with you.
And roses are red and they are more expensive this year. How inflation is hitting everything from chocolate to flowers. We remain free and unrestricted for your use here this morning. We're so glad you're with us on this Valentine's Day. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Yes, and all red on this holiday. We wish you a wonderful Valentine's Day. And we have lovely weather today for you. Meteorologist Alyssa Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. It's not raining.
It's not. And the sky's cleared. So when the sun comes up, we'll have a beautiful sunrise, which I think it'll be the first time we've had a pretty sunrise this week. We take a live look here at downtown Raleigh. We've got a pretty moon out there in case you happen to see it. Maybe we'll find a picture of it coming up. The wind is fairly light. The wind's not going to be a big deal for us. It's calm right now at RDU, 37 degrees, but the temperatures are likely to keep dropping. We're in the upper 20s in Roxborough and South Hill, mid 30s in Rocky Mount, 40 degrees in Fayetteville and in Clinton. Hour by hour, your Valentine's forecast. It's a little chilly this morning, and it does stay cool all day. Our high temperatures won't make it out of the 40s, but the sunshine always makes it feel better. Already, we are looking ahead to Sunday. It is a WRAL Weather Alert Day. I'll explain why coming up.
Take you back to that breaking news. 3 people are dead after a crash in southern Wake County. It's happening on Kennebec Road, and Eric Miller joins us live from that scene in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Eric, investigators have been there since around 1:30 this morning.
Well, Jeff, they have a very serious crash scene here. Kennebec Road at Bud Lipscomb Road. You look behind me, you can see the one vehicle involved in this crash still on scene, absolutely torn to pieces as a result of the impact here. State Highway Patrol tells me that both alcohol and speed were factors in this crash. You take a look at this video again, you get a sense just how serious this was. According to troopers here on scene, a driver went off the left side of Kennebec Road, hit a tree, that vehicle then flipping before hitting another tree here. We know there were 3 fatalities. We're still working to learn the names of those involved here. But again, alcohol and speed both contributing factors in this crash. This still does remain a very active scene. Kennebec Road shut down at this time as this investigation continues and as crews work to get this vehicle towed out of the way. For the time being, drivers headed in for their morning commute are going to need to divert around this scene and will likely need to do so for a little while longer. In Fuquay Farina, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
New this morning, a federal judge has put a pause on President Trump's freeze on foreign aid. The judge's order mandates a revival of a flow of money to contracts, grants, and loans in place at the end of the Biden administration. A judge has also extended a hold on the Trump administration's dismantling of USAID for another week. The judge said he will keep a court order in place until February 21st. It reinstates USAID workers the administration previously placed on paid leave and blocks the administration from taking further action that could hurt the workers.
We're waiting to learn if the lift on freezing foreign aid funds will impact businesses here in the Triangle, because yesterday we reported RTI International, headquartered in RTP, was temporarily laying off some of its staff in the U.S. because of that funding pause. In all, 226 employees are affected by this. 61 of them are based in North Carolina. It's unclear when the positions will return or if this new order will affect that. Earlier this week, WRAL News reported President Trump's freeze on foreign aid is putting thousands of jobs at risk across the country and in the Triangle. FHI 360 is a Durham-based nonprofit. It furloughed 36% of its U.S. staff.
This morning, heavy rain is causing problems in Southern California as the region recovers from recent wildfires. Mudslides and mountain debris caused trouble for drivers, including a Los Angeles Fire Department vehicle, which was swept into the ocean. Thankfully, nobody was seriously injured. Crews used bulldozers to clean the mess as best as possible, preparing for the rain to move out today.
A massive winter storm in the Pacific Northwest caused major issues for drivers in several states. Take a look at this frightening scene on I-84 outside Portland, Oregon. More than 100 cars and trucks piled up in the snowy conditions. Some caught fire, and rescuers say several people were injured. They had to help people who were stuck inside their cars.
It was a similar scene in Idaho. This video from Nampa, Idaho, about 25 minutes from Boise. You can see dozens of cars stuck in the snow after a series of crashes.
A suspected Venezuelan gang member was arrested in Raleigh. Ricardo Granadillo Padilla was wanted for federal charges for illegally entering the U.S. ICE arrested him over the weekend. He was found with a handgun and ammunition. 10 other people from Venezuela who are also here illegally were also found. They also say Granadillo Padilla is a suspected member of the Tren de Aragua gang. His arrest comes just days before federal authorities announced a new initiative to crack down on the gang.
They have spread out across the globe, primarily in South America, up through Panama, through Mexico, into the U.S. This sort of nationwide focus on Tren de Aragua is very, very appropriate.
Authorities also named him a suspect in a mass shooting in Chicago, and he's being held at the Wake County Detention Center.
Your time is 4:36 here in the WRAL Live Center. Jeff, one thing I'm monitoring, I'm going to do this all morning long here in the Live Center, is the situation unfolding between Ukraine and Russia. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky sharing photos online talking about a Russian attack drone with a high explosive warhead striking the shelter that protects the world from radiation. We're talking about the destroyed Chernobyl power plant. Now, we're seeing reports that apparently the radiation there is within, quote, normal limits, but they're not, obviously they're stepping in to try to make sure that this situation is contained. Now, they're saying that the initial assessments are saying that the damage to the shelter is significant. As you see in these photos, you can even see the outside was exposed for just a bit. But because of the volatility of just the situation and, of course, the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, and given this new update, we'll be watching that this morning long in the WRAL Live Center.
Chris, thanks. The family of the man who was shot to death by a Harnett County deputy say they believe excessive force was used. Family members say 31-year-old Leo Reeves was in the midst of a mental health crisis Wednesday when his girlfriend called 911. Deputies were called to Neals Creek Road in Lillington. When they got there, they say Reeves had a knife and he was not responding to their efforts to de-escalate the situation. The deputy involved, Calvin Johnson, has 11 years of law enforcement experience. His patrol car has a dash camera inside, but he was not wearing a body camera. The Harnett County Sheriff's Office is in the process of issuing them.
It's a grand reopening for the people of Asheville today, with Walmart returning to the community months after Hurricane Helene. This is video of the flooding inside the nearby Walmart in Boone after the storm hit. This morning, a ribbon-cutting ceremony will welcome shoppers back to the store on Bleachery Boulevard. Apparel, electronics, toys, pharmacy, and dry grocery departments are all available today. A full reopening is scheduled later this spring.
Americans are expected to spend a record amount of money on their sweethearts this Valentine's Day. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from GCG Flower and Plant Design in Cary. Kelsey, businesses are prepared for the influx of customers they'll sure to see today.
Yes, Renee, people are expected to spend $27.5 billion on Valentine's this year, according to the National Retail Federation. So GCG Flowers and Plant Design is one of the shops here that's going to be preparing for a huge influx of customers. Of course, this is going to be one of the busiest days of the year for them. You may even be able to see some of those Valentine's Day balloons here through the window. But flowers are the second most popular Valentine's Day gift, according to NRF. They estimate consumers will spend $2.9 billion on Valentine's Day flowers this year. But North Carolinians may spend less than the average American. A survey shows the average cost of a dozen roses in North Carolina is just below $80. That's $10 less than the national average. Now, some of you all may be waiting to the last minute to get those flowers. So coming up in the 6 o'clock hour, we'll go inside the flower shop and tell you about any last minute deals. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Chapel Hill leaders have announced they launched a new tool to address affordable housing. The town, UNC Health, and Self-Help Ventures have partnered to launch a $20 million affordable housing loan fund. Developers will be able to apply for below-market loans to help create and preserve housing. The town expects to see 600 housing units over the next 20 years. Self-Help Ventures will administer the loans.
School shooting stopped. How investigators were alerted to a student's plot to commit a mass shooting on Valentine's Day.
And a whale of a tale here. The story behind this incredible video of a whale swallowing a kayaker.
And we'll give you a live look at our WRAL newsroom in Fayetteville. We are finally getting a break from the rain today, but it won't last long. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will time out when we'll see showers this weekend.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
4:43, it's a bit of a chilly start, but our skies are clear. We've got beautiful sunshine in our forecast for Valentine's Day. 36 in Wilson, 37 in Durham, and 40 degrees right now in Fayetteville. These temperatures will probably drop a little bit more, so it should feel like close to freezing for most of us heading out. But the top of the tower is lit in blue for clear skies, and when that sun comes up, it will be a pretty sunrise, really the first one that we've seen all week. A chilly day, grab the coat, 32 degrees or so when you're headed out the door. Hour by hour, it does stay cool. Temperatures will be in the upper 40s. If you're taking your Valentine out for dinner, temperatures may drop into the upper 30s before you get everybody back home. We are looking at the potential for some serious weather on Sunday. It is a WRAL weather alert day for thunderstorms. I'll show you coming up.
An 18-year-old student in Indiana was arrested for plotting a Valentine's Day shooting at his school. Authorities say Trinity Shockley shared those plans with another user on the chat platform Discord. A caller to the FBI Sandy Hook tip line led investigators to Shockley, who allegedly shared online they had been planning the shooting for a year and would target their crush. Shockley identifies as a transgender man. They are charged with conspiracy to commit murder.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio had to return to Washington after a mechanical issue on his Air Force plane last night. According to one official, the problem had to do with the plane's cockpit windshield. Rubio was traveling to Germany for a security conference when the issue developed, forcing the plane to return to Joint Base Andrews. Rubio resumed his travels on board a separate plane.
Republican senators are falling in line behind President Donald Trump's cabinet picks. A final confirmation vote for President Trump's nominee for FBI Director Kash Patel will likely happen next week. Patel was advanced by a Senate committee yesterday, despite concerns for Democrats who have said he's unfit to lead the Bureau. The Senate confirmed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as Secretary of Health and Human Services yesterday. Former Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell was the only Republican to vote against him. Meanwhile, Tulsi Gabbard was also confirmed this week as the next Director of National Intelligence.
Speed limits across the state could go up from 70 to 75 on some interstates and highways. Lawmakers are considering the new legislation now. The move comes as new data shows an increase in deadly crashes statewide, up more than 30% between 2018 and 2022. Drivers we spoke with had mixed reactions to the potential speed limit change.
5 miles an hour over what is already a fairly decent fast speed limit. I'm kind of leery about that one.
Lawmakers considered increasing speed limits in a bill more than a decade ago. That bill ultimately stalled out and didn't go anywhere.
TikTok has returned to Apple and Google's app stores in the U.S. The companies announced the update last night. TikTok disappeared from both stores in the U.S. in January, hours before a ban on the app was to go into effect. The ban is rooted in national security concerns because of the app's Chinese parent company. President Trump paused the ban. The status of the law and the app's ownership remains up in the air.
People visiting Wake County are spending record amounts of money. That's according to a report that tracks tourism in the county. Taxes collected for hotel and lodging are up. Prepared food and beverage tax revenue also up. All of that combined produced the highest tax collections on record in 2024, nearly $90 million. Visit Raleigh and the Greater Raleigh Sports Alliance teamed up to host more than 400 events, tournaments, and conferences and festivals last year. Nearly 665,000 people attended. Hotel occupancy was a record 70%, outpacing the state's average of 62% and the national average of 63%.
What a terrifying moment for a father and son kayaking in Chile. Take a look as a humpback whale seems to come out of nowhere right here and swallow the kayaker. Goodness, it happened in the Strait of Magellan in Chile, and it took just a few moments before the whale decided they don't taste good, spit them back out. It turns out the father had stopped to film the waves there when his son was gulped up by the whale there. The son says he thought he was going to die, but then his life vest pulled him back up. And when asked if the two would kayak again, they both said, of course. I guess you live to tell about it. That is unreal video right there. Elizabeth Gardner, you paddle. You've never come across that.
You know, I'm a river paddler, you know.
Okay.
It's all, you know, about dodging the rocks and not the whales. And, you know, so not to be like nitpicky, but those guys were, or he anyway, was paddling one of these new things called a pack raft. And that you can put in a backpack and you can hike with it and you can hike to places and then get in the water with it. So really cool stuff. But I mean, isn't that a story in the Bible that Jonah gets swallowed by the whale? And no one would believe that if there was no video, you know. I mean, that's incredible. That's the video of the day. 37 degrees is our temperature right now. We are likely to fall on down to around 32 once the sun comes up. So it's a cold start out there. But what we are seeing is a nice, big, beautiful moon. Take a look at this. Don Tolman from Cary got a shot of this. Of course, at one point we had some high, thin clouds out there, and you see this nice ring around the moon. That's caused by the ice crystals in the clouds. We would love to see your photos. Go to WRAL.com/report it and send us what's happening in your backyard. Our temperature is mostly in the 30s this morning. We have a little bit of a wind chill out there in a few places. It's 28 in South Hill. It feels like 31 in Rocky Mount. It feels like 33 in Fayetteville and 30 in Southern Pines. Not much of a wind. We'll likely see really windy conditions on Sunday with our next front, but it's not too bad out there right now. Temperatures are going to be cooler than yesterday, anywhere from just a couple of degrees to 5 or 6 degrees cooler. And around town, it's a chilly afternoon. 49 in Raleigh, 48 in Durham, and 51 in Fayetteville, but it will be nice and sunny. Chilly today. Warmer over for Sunday, but just briefly, and then we see a big blast of cold air. And that blast of cold air could bring us a little wintry precipitation for next week. 55 is our normal high, so we're below that for tomorrow. 68 Sunday, that looks nice, but it is going to be a fairly wet day on Sunday, and then we turn cooler for the rest of the week. It's a 90% chance of rain on Sunday and a 70% chance for tomorrow, Sunday. We have the potential for some thunderstorms along with the front, so it is a WRAL weather alert day. We have the potential for some severe thunderstorms in some of our eastern counties. We'll take a closer look at that coming up. So another roller coaster ride. Again, Sunday is a WRAL weather alert day. It's warmer than it's cooler Monday, and we turn pretty chilly for Wednesday and Thursday.
Elizabeth, thank you. From dojo to wedding chapel, how two stars of the hit Netflix series Cobra Kai announced their engagement.
Plus, we will show you how some of the tiniest Valentines are celebrating the holiday in the cutest way. Whether you're looking to stay in or go out, there's a new movie for you this Valentine's weekend, and David Daniel has all the movies coming out in the Hollywood Minute.
Dad has a secret that before he was a boring consultant, he was a professional chef.
You don't realize you're in Italy, right? There's no better place to rediscover your passion.
Scott Foley travels to Italy to check on his daughter, and sparks fly with the town's mayor in La Dolce Villa. The romantic dramedy is now streaming on Netflix.
I have to tell you one more thing. I love you forever.
What's taking so long? When are you going to be home?
Name one thing you've done for me. You don't care about me. I don't think I could live without you.
I Love You Forever features a more toxic twosome. Sophia Black-D'Elia stars as a woman whose new too good to be true boyfriend may be just that. The film is now on digital platforms.
時々思うねんな。逃げ出したらどんな感じかなって。朝起きて街を歩いて全く新しい人生を始める。
Two strangers, both stung by betrayal, connect despite a language barrier in One Night in Tokyo. The romantic drama in Japanese and English is on digital and VOD platforms.
If we're going to do this, we need to set some rules that you and I both agree on.
Did you order this?
Starting with, I tell you what to do and you do it.
And if you missed Nicole Kidman's Golden Globe-nominated turn in Baby Girl, you're in luck. The erotic thriller is back in theaters for Valentine's weekend. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Take a look at these tiny Valentines. Cape Fear Valley Health released these pictures of babies spending the holiday in the NICU. Some are dressed as Cupid, others as angels, and of course some slept through the whole photo shoot. Adorable.
Love is in the air for two Netflix stars. Cobra Kai co-stars Mary Mauser and Tanner Buchanan announced they're engaged. Same day, Netflix dropped the final episodes of their series. On the Karate Kid-inspired show, Mauser plays Samantha, the daughter of Ralph Macchio's OG Karate Kid, Daniel LaRusso. Buchanan portrays Robbie Keane, the son of William Zabka's Johnny Lawrence. The spin-off series has ended after 6 seasons. Congratulations to that couple and good luck starting their new chapter.
Pride in the Bull City's culture. That's the goal of the new Love Durham campaign. More than 150 businesses are participating in the initiative created by Discover Durham and Downtown Durham, Inc. They offer discounts for customers wearing a Love Durham pin. There's also a smartphone app-based challenge where you can win prizes for checking into different places. The initiative runs through April.
Your 5 o'clock news is coming up, and we have 3 deaths after a crash in southern Wake County to tell you about what we are learning about the moments before the car ended up like this.
Also ahead, why Sunday will be a WRAL weather alert day, but today, no rain, so enjoy it.
Also, it is Valentine's Day, and we're live at a local flower shop getting ready for a busy day ahead.